the visuals it's like I can't go back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, if
crazy.
you got the spec in your laptop, I mean, in your PC, I get it. If you got it, me personally, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I just wouldn't tell people like, "Yo, you need it." If you got it,
Oh yeah.
go get the
No,
PC,
no.
but you don't
And
need it.
honestly, it's expensive and it's a lot of
Yeah,
tinkering. And
exactly.
I just like tinkering, so I don't care. But like my husband tries to get on the PC sometimes, and he's
See,
like,
that's and see
"No,
the
that's
Rashi,
it's
that's
not
my
working."
problem why I haven't gone PC because it's the tinkering part. Like I could get it and get it built, but the second something goes wrong, oh, I'm gonna be unbearable. I'm gonna be in the chat asking all kinds of dumb shit. Trav driving over here helping me with it. So that's what I'm scared of
Right.
the upkeep because I'm tech savvy, but not like that. As soon as it start hissing at me or some shit, I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what my husband is. Anytime he
Yeah,
has to
yeah,
go on the
see?
PC and he wants to play a game, he's like, I don't know what's going on. But it's saying something about drivers or something. I don't
Exactly.
know. I gotta hop on and do tech support, but yeah,
See, I just gotta hit my power
yeah,
button and then just press X and boot my
yeah.
game up,
No,
man.
I understand. I understand. I trust me.
I just every time I was playing Fight for New York on my laptop, I had to go through 3 files just to open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Have we been live
Oh,
this whole time? I hope so. Mid last sentence, we
yeah.
was having good convo. We was having some good tech
So,
talk. All right, well, now that we know we're live. Ross, you finished it? Did you say that in the chat?
completion
Did you
is
say you finished it?
crazy. I did. I did. Yes.
You did finish it. Okay,
I.
okay, okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So let me
So.
ask you then. Let me ask you since now I can ask some questions because Trav Trav didn't know diddly about the game. I couldn't ask him nothing.
Oh man.
So
Okay. Yeah.
first off, since we on spoilers, who did you choose at the end of the game? Who did you side with at the end of the game? Was it Verso or
Uh,
Maya?
Okay, so when that decision came up, I whenever a game gives me a big decision like that, I try to
Hmm.
choose what I think the devs canonically want, like what you think is
Ah,
who you
okay.
think is the right person. And then I
Oh, you
usually like to go back and play through, although I didn't this time because I was too impatient, but I usually
yeah,
go back and then play through the other endings and like how I would want to play. So
yeah.
truthfully, I wanted to pick Mael's ending, and I'll get into why specifically later. But I went with the Verso ending,
Okay.
and I
Opposite of
ended
me.
up right. So I ended up picking the Verso ending because at the end of the day, I felt that Renoir and Verso were correct in their assessment that it was unhealthy for Mael to basically escape her disability and her struggles with the real world by kind of going into a fantasy world. Because the whole thing, let
Right.
me go back a little bit. So for those who don't know and don't care about the spoilers, this whole game
Yeah.
is basically you play a group of people trying to basically defeat an enemy. I'm giving the super short summary because it can get really long about like who dies, who
Oh yeah,
stays,
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah,
lives.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
get sidetracked real quick.
Right. There's a villain who's killing off a population of people based off of their age every year, and they have to set out to go find her and basically figure out why she's killing them. So the game has an incredible prologue. Well, you start off playing one of the expeditioners, and he has a former fling or former flame, a girlfriend that who's supposed to basically die in the
Yeah,
beginning of the
it's year to
prologue.
die because
It's her
it
year.
starts out Expedition 30. It starts out at Expedition 32 technically, and then it
Right,
turns
right,
to 33. So
right.
anyone
So
that's 32 years old, Trav, in that world is about to die. It's their year to die. If you're 32 years old, you're gonna die.
yeah, so you
Yeah,
have a year to go. So a lot of people, if their year is coming up, they're just going out and volunteering, trying to figure out a way that they can
yeah, they're
either
trying
a
to
stop
escape this
the
fate. Yeah, that's yeah.
right,
Right, exactly.
Right.
Kind of like the Attack on Titan effect, where it's like humanity, like we gonna thrive as much as we possibly can, so the next people behind us can thrive.
Yes,
You know?
correct, correct. So the prologue, if you see nothing else, or if you don't plan on playing it, I would watch somebody play the prologue. I even
Hmm.
had Skills get on it, and he was like hooked by the prologue alone. It is one of the best intros to a game that like personally I've experienced. But
Outside of Ghost, for me personally.
all right. Anyway, so so the villain is the villain is a mysterious figure called the Paintress, and she's basically like a giant that you can kind of see her in the off the. You start off in this town called Lumiere. This is where everything's happening, and you can see off in the distance across the sea that there's a giant like mountain-like structure, like a monolith, and she's just a giantess, and she's like laying there and
Yeah, you
she's
can see
waiting.
her.
Every year she gets up. Yeah, you can see her. Every year she gets up and she paints the next number down onto the face of the mountain, so everybody knows that that expedition failed and then they got to set out and do it again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So everybody in the first prologue basically that's 33 gets Thanos. Just completely emotional. The music is great. Everything is sensational about that scene.
Yeah,
And then
it makes you feel like you, even though it just happened, it makes you feel like you've been playing a game for 2 hours and you know everybody because it lets you
yes,
talk to people. It lets you talk to people.
yes,
Yeah, in a
yes,
short period of time
extremely.
because it lets you talk to the NPCs on the side. Everybody got their own quick little story, their own emotion, and it's like you feel like you've been playing longer than you actually have. When in reality, you just turn it on.
Yeah, you get a sense. You talk to the NPCs, you get a sense of what's going on because you kind of have
Yeah,
to piece it together. You don't know what's kind of
yeah.
happening, and
They
then
just
like
throw you in it.
you realize like you build these friendships with these people that are talking. You're like, hey, Anyway, it's a great intro. You get to the so one of your teammates figures out where the first expedition landed because they're supposedly the only successful expedition, but nobody knows what happened to them.
Yeah, that was
So
at double
you
zero, right?
Yes,
Was it the
correct,
double
right.
zero? Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
just zero, just Expedition Zero.
Yeah,
So
zero.
you land there the next day, and immediately your entire squad is just killed by a mysterious old guy, which no one sees because no one has seen an old person, right? Because everybody that is currently alive is so everyone
Yeah,
the team
everybody
leaders
alive is
like
in the same area.
right. So he's like, "You're old. What expedition were you with? Like, what's going on?" And so, without saying a word, he just kills out your entire squad.
Yeah,
So
you asking the
the
wrong
first,
questions.
right, right. So the first part of the game is you just trying to like figure out what happened, figure out who these people are, and you find a couple of like survivors from your squad, and you're just trying to figure out what's happening. That's the first act. Second act is when things just go nuts, and it's just like there's just plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. So
Oh yeah,
eventually,
yeah, yeah.
the character you've been playing gets killed again by the same old guy, and
Remember, I told you that
then
the first character. I told you that I was looking at his skill tree, and his skill tree was significantly lower than everybody's, and he
it
had
was
locks. He had locks on stuff that other people didn't have locks on, and I
yeah.
was like,
Oh, you must
I
have
didn't.
you must have
Yeah,
leveled up a lot to get to that hit ceiling because I
yeah, 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 yeah.
did not. I
By
kind of
the time I
struggled with
got
that
to
first deck boss.
Act Two, I was probably level 25, give or take 25, 28.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
grinding.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Roshi,
So you were
my
probably
first like,
dog walking everybody by that
oh, for
too.
sure, for sure.
All
My longest
right.
battle took me 30 minutes. 30 minutes
Oh, that's
of
crazy.
carrying. It
Oh
was
man.
you. Did you fight the bouncing thing? The thing that kept bouncing up and down? Do you remember
I
fighting
don't.
anything like that?
I don't think so.
So there's an
I don't
enemy in the
think
open
so.
world. All it
Oh,
does is jump up
I've
and down.
seen the videos of it. No, I
Yeah.
didn't fight that. I've seen the videos of it. I don't know where that is, but yeah, that would have. Honestly,
Oh
I would
yeah,
have
he
left that
don't
fight.
fight.
I'm a.
You don't fight. All you gotta do is parry like 100 times.
There's
But
a couple
obviously,
of bosses I fought where they were just straight parrying. Like you
yeah,
had a. That was the only way to
yeah,
defeat them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, so
Go ahead, go
I'll be
ahead.
honest, I don't consider myself a parry god of any sort. I don't play like if the game has other ways of getting around an enemy, I will use those tactics. I
So
am
you're
terrible.
okay with
By the
Elden?
end,
Did you play Elden Ring?
Yeah, but Elden Ring, Elden Ring is so hard to parry in. I mean,
But I'm
I
saying you
couldn't figure
prefer
it
the
out.
roll. You
Oh yeah,
prefer
I
the
do the
roll over
rolls.
the parry.
I do that. Right, I do all of
You
that.
do? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No.
But
You prefer the
this,
roll? No.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
right, right. But this game forces you to. It rewards you more
Yes,
if
it
you
does. If you parry.
parry. So you could
It
dodge,
rewards you
but
if
the
you
dodge
dodge too,
mechanic
though.
is for you. It does, but very little. Like you'll get like one attack point back instead of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
each parry you hit, you get an attack point back.
Yeah, so
So you get
so
attack
Trav,
points to
after
use
a while,
skills.
they start giving you different abilities. So early on, the first thing they show you is the parry. The parry so you can block attacks. Then later on, a little bit after that, you can dodge. You could just simply move out the way. It's a little easier to
Right.
do because they're a little bit more lenient with the timing. And then
Correct.
later on, they give you something called jumping. So people characters will do like low abilities, and you can jump over
Yeah.
it. And
Right.
those are your
Right.
three defensive mechanics. The only thing that you can't use whenever you want is the jump. The jump
Jump.
has a
Yeah.
has a condition, but the other two you can do at will.
So the dodge mechanic they really want you to use to figure out the timing for the parry because how it works
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
dodge, the window is big, so you can kind of move out
Right.
of the way early. If
And
you
as
hit
Rashi
the
said, there's
dodge at
no
the right
reward really.
time, you get a
Hmm.
perfect dodge, and the perfect dodge is the same time as the parry. So they want you to kind of use the dodge to figure out the
Right.
timing for the parrying. And then that's
Right,
kind of
right, right.
how you do it. So by the end of this game, I was amazing at parrying because it forces you to parry, and it
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah, right.
I can probably go now into like other games that I've struggled with because of that. I don't know if I
Yeah,
could do something like
Sekiro might be
Sekiro,
me.
but
Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
I
I've
saw
not
one
played
YouTuber
Sekiro
say
either.
like after they played this game and they had a hard time playing Sekiro, like they were good, like they were going through Sekiro, like, and I was like,
Yeah, I might
yo,
go
I
back.
can't, I don't know, but
Honestly,
yeah,
the
so
sidebar about Sekiro, if they drop, I'm waiting for the PS5 port. Once they do that, I'm getting it.
they
Honestly,
haven't
hopefully
ported
they
that.
drop one.
That's interesting.
I don't think so.
Uh,
If if
no,
they
you're
did,
right. I
I'm gonna
don't
go
think I
buy
did
it
because
after
I
we
have
get
the
off here.
original. Yeah,
If they PS5 port it, I'm on that. But anyway, so what are we act? We're
yeah.
early
So
Act Two, where
early
everyone
Act
jumps off a
Two.
bridge
Everyone's right.
type shit.
So the main dude that you start off with, he dies. So you're left with the three.
Oh yeah,
Right, you're left with the three female characters, Loon, Ciel, and Mael. Mael's going to play a huge part of this story. And Mael is one of the only people on your team who is not in their 30s. She is 16, and she is the reason why she decides to go on the expedition. She's an orphan, and she doesn't remember much of her past, but basically she just kind of jumped from family to family. The character you play in the beginning, Gustav, kind of took her in as like an adopted,
sister dad type
sisters,
thing.
like, right,
Yeah,
right, right.
brother
So
dad type
she's
thing.
been right. She's basically like, I don't see the point in staying behind in town, waiting till my number's up. I'd rather just go out there and fight because I don't have much to live for anyway.
Yeah,
Since you're
exactly.
going, you're my only family. So, Act Two happens, and then you get a mysterious character named Verso, played by the wonderful Ben Starr, who is also Clive in Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, plot
He
twist, Trav.
is somehow
Plot twist,
tied
Trav.
to. Absolutely love
He
Final
looks
Fantasy
very
16.
identical to the guy that got killed. He looks very similar to the guy that got killed. Almost similar play styles, but the gist of their play style is different. But some of the abilities that they could do were the same.
Oh, you know what? I see where you're going with that. I didn't even think about that connection. But yes,
Yeah,
so he is. He comes in. He saves the rest of the team. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you guys out of here before the old guy,
right.
whose name is Renoir, decides to kill the rest of you." Right, and the whole time too, Mael's experiencing visions where she's being told by this old guy and a mysterious young girl who's disfigured that she's the reason why people are going to die and she needs to leave. And she has no clue what's going on. She's getting these weird visions. They feel real. Her teammates are concerned about her mental health. She's kind of like shook by this whole experience. So they end up fleeing, and then the rest of the game you're basically with Verso, and he is kind of holding back a lot of
Yeah, he's
information.
very passive. He's very passive.
Right, and you figure out he was part of the first one of the first expeditions. He doesn't like to answer a lot of questions. You find out he's immortal. He's tried to help
Right.
other expeditions before, and then he just kind of gave up because everybody just kept dying, and he thought, well, what's the point? That's his story anyway, right?
Oh,
You
and he's
come to
sticking
find
to it.
out Right, right. So you come to find
Yeah.
out by middle-ish Act Two that he is actually related to, he's the son of Renoir, the old guy who
The
basically
old guy
lost
that
your
you've been
entire
seeing since the
team.
beginning. That's one of your first plot twists, right? Well, that's like your second one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So now your squad's like, what the heck's up? Like, why are you fighting your dad? Like, why didn't you tell
Right.
us this was your dad? What's going on? And he's just like, oh, it's complicated. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not
Trav,
really agreeing with
they're
what he's
fighting.
doing.
They're fighting, but they're not fighting to kill. Both the two fights that you get into are two different because the guy that gets killed by the old man, he tries to kill him when he fights. When you fight him as Verso, he doesn't necessarily try to kill him. He kind of tries more to fend him off.
Right,
So that's
right. So
that's what kind of like the whole like the father son thing because it's like he's not trying to kill his dad, but his dad in the way of what's going on type shit. So it's like he ain't trying to kill him, but he's trying to get him out the way.
right. So Verso ends up helping you flee again from Renoir because Renoir's about to pull out some big move. I don't know.
Yeah,
Everything starts
some other
shaking. He
shit.
freaks out. He's like, "We got to get out
Yeah,
of here."
he
So
start crashing out.
your team
He start
dips
using the final
again.
attack to just spirit bomb some
Right,
more shit.
right. Like stuff looks questionable. So
Yeah,
everyone's
so
like,
they're
"All
like, "Hey,
right,
we're gonna
we
get up
we
out of
may be
here."
overpowered." Yeah.
Right.
So
We ain't got
everyone
enough
leaves. I'm not
picos. We ain't got enough picos for this fight.
right. So exactly.
We got
So
enough
then the rest
picos.
of the game, so their act two then folks pivots and focuses on you trying to get to the paintress, who is the supposedly the main villain, the woman painting the number down. And in order to do that, you need to defeat two enemies to obtain what's called like chroma, which is basically like a kind of a power up item. And to break through the
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's like the essence of their world, essentially. Just think of it like that.
yeah, and you needed to break the barrier that's surrounding the paintress. So you get there. Mael gets the super weapon to break through the barrier after you kill the two enemies, and then you fight the paintress, right? And no attacks are working at first. Your team's like, "What the heck do we do?" She's not even reacting. She's just sitting there, hunched over, with her head in her arms, like she's crying, and she's not
Yeah.
moving.
The battles
So
are very interactive because even though they're turn-based, like a lot's still going on. They're talking, the enemy's kind of still moving a little bit. You can block, you can parry, so it's always active. You
right,
can never
right,
just you can never walk. You have to pause the game if you're gonna walk away. Just because it's your
yes,
turn, like you should still just pause it. Like some shit can
yeah,
happen.
yeah, right.
It's a
So
very active turn-based game.
it really is, yeah. And then some bosses
In the
have
last few days, I've
multiple
got to spend some
phases. I
time with a
think
new
I think I,
It
I
don't
haven't run
tell.
into it, but some of them have like three phases, so it can get crazy. So,
Oh, they got three
um,
phases, that's for sure. I got
yeah,
humble. I fought Simon. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I did
Yeah, I
not
fought
fight
the hidden boss.
Simon. Yeah, I've heard.
No, I
I
fought the
I didn't
hidden
even
boss.
know the thing.
It's just it's not even like for me. It's like I you know what I'm saying. I ain't got nothing to prove. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I was on stream or like somebody was over here watching, but I'm just here by myself. Like I ain't got nothing to prove, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right, right.
Nobody cares.
So
So like, yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
good,
so
man.
the second act, you find out that the Paintress seems to know Mael. She keeps calling her Alicia, which is supposedly the name of the girl that was kind of hanging around the old guy, Renoir, who's
Yeah,
disfigured, right? Her face is disfigured, just covered with a mask. And no, Mael has no idea. She just everything feels familiar to her, but she doesn't remember. She can't recall why she knows these people. But after you defeat the Paintress, you know, she and Verso basically kind of send the paintress off like she's dying, and she's saying Verso, and she knows Verso, and she knows Mael as Alicia, and then she like Thanoses into the atmosphere, and then everyone's like, Mael, how did you do that? How did you? And she's like, I don't know what's going on. Well, finds out she is actually the daughter of the paintress. basically this whole entire world is
It's a painting.
a painting. And so what happened is the real Mael, whose name was Alicia, actually got almost died in a fire, and her brother Verso saved her. And in saving her, he died. So they have preserved a sliver of his soul in a canvas that he painted. And he has been, the painted Verso that you've been hanging out with, has been forced to live in this canvas basically all his life because no,
No, he's immortal.
he's, he's
No, he remember
immortal. He's immortal. Yeah.
that's why he's immortal, Trav, because he's no,
Oh no, no, no.
no.
There's no tie to
No.
that. There's
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
no tie
whatever
to
he
that.
died, he died. He hasn't aged. He's whatever age he was when he died. It's not like any other hook with the 33 number again. But so then
Yeah, they're kind
cut
of
to the
bullshitting with the whole they go very Final Fantasy around this time, in my opinion, because the
yeah,
as Rashi said before, you're fighting the two, they're called like Exions or something like that. That's very like Final Fantasy 10-ish.
yeah,
And then
mm-hmm,
yeah, it's just this is
yeah,
this Final Fantasy part, but that's another the reason why I think that the developers were so successful, because they do a lot of that. They take a lot of pieces, a lot of different games that people like, and they meshed it together. So this is the part that Rashi's at is where I got my most invested, because it was the most Final Fantasy S to me as far as storytelling. So this is when I
yeah.
got the most invested into the story personally.
And right, and then instead of instead of fighting God in this one, you find out you are kind of
Yeah,
God. But
exactly,
it
exactly.
was
They weren't
so it
looking
was
for
crazy.
Sephiroth. They were Sephiroth.
Yeah, yeah. So you find out the real Mael is actually Alicia. She is disfigured from the fire and she can't talk. So the whole thing is they can create things. She comes from a family of painters. So she has her sister who is fighting a war with somebody called the Riders. They don't tell you much about the Riders. I think the devs are leaving that for possibly a DLC or a sequel, but she's in the real world saying, mom and dad are fighting in this painting, go figure out like how to wrap this fight up. Like they've been there for a long time. So you just see the mom and the dad, Renoir and the paintress, just standing in front of a canvas, and like their faces look like dripping paint. They're just like immersed in the world. That's how they're like in the canvas. So they've been fighting in this canvas for, I guess, a very long time. I don't know if the time is different than inside the canvas. I think it is, but like they've basically been fighting in the canvas for like 67 years. I don't know how much that translated in there, but they've been in there for a long time fighting each other. So you find out the Renoir you've been fighting was actually the paintress's view of Renoir, because she views him as the villain. The real Renoir was actually this like disfigured monster who was helping you power up your weapons in the camp. It's crazy. I know. It's like the twist go nuts. So anyway, after you find out the real you, Mael went into this painting, and then what happens is her memories are lost because her mom kind of ended up like making her a character in the story. So that's why she had no memory up until now who she was, because she ended up being like part of the story. So then Verso knows this. Verso has known the whole time that that's
Yeah, he
his
knows the whole
sister.
time.
So at the end,
Yeah,
the ghost version of Alicia slash Mael, who was the disfigured girl hanging with the villain Renoir, had given him a letter saying, "Hey, if you like, basically saying if you choose to give this to Mael, just let her know there is a way. I'm tired of our families fighting. There should be a way these worlds coexist, right?" And then she's like, "If you don't, though, whatever happens, happens. I trust your choice." So Verso never gives Mael the letter. So when you go to, before winding back a little bit, after your paintress fight, you actually go back to the town because you think you're successful. You and your teammates are celebrating. Everyone's excited. Everyone's the right. The first character you play, Gustav, his family's a little sad, but like the people he knew, they like you're telling them about the death. But everyone's generally happy. They think the cycle has ended. Everything all of a sudden goes black, and everyone gets Thanos. Everyone,
everybody,
everyone, your entire
everybody.
everybody, including
Everybody.
Mael. So then that's when you find out what happened, and then the real Mael was like technically in this other world, and she like hopped into this painting. It's crazy. So eventually you come back with your memories, and you have to fight. You paint everybody back. You paint your teammates back first, because then you find out that you're the paintress. And so you want to basically keep this world as Mael. Mael's like, I want to keep this world. I can be here. I can talk. I'm not disabled. I can live in this world where I can live a life. Like, I can have this family. Like, these people are my family. They're my creations. I want to be here too. So then that's
Mm-hmm.
what becomes the pivotal kind of like point of the game where you make a decision, because
That's where your choice comes in.
you fight your real dad now, because your dad at this point, he's more sympathetic, but he's like, look, your mom is wasting away, she's literally dying because she can't let go of the death of your brother. Your sister's out here fighting a war by yourself, and you're just escaping reality by living in this illusion. Right. And he's like, I don't want to lose my entire family because of the death of our son. Right. He's like, this is insane. I'm tired of waking up to living corpses. Like, we need to end this. So he plans on destroying the canvas, like, completely, just destroying it, killing the last sliver of Verso's soul, and saying, this is it. This is ridiculous. End this. So right. So you end up fighting him again, and then at the end you kind of see your mom is dying, and painted Verso's like, this is wrong. We need to end this. You can still live a life even though you're disabled. You can paint new worlds. You have this powerful ability to paint. You can do whatever you want. That you don't have to hold on to me. He's like, plus I'm tired. I'm tired of living forever. I'm tired of hanging on to this persona that I'm not really Verso anyway. He's just like, I just want to stop. I just want to end this. I want to end it all, and I think you should go back to the world and embrace the family. Like, he sacrificed himself for you to live with your family, and you're in here basically slowly dying in this world because you want to escape your pain. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. This is my family. I have the ability to talk here. I have the ability to live here. I can do whatever I want here. Out there in the real world, my disability is holding me back. I can't do anything. Everybody's like, able to do stuff, and I'm restricted by my disability. And so you have to make a choice whether or not you want to go with Verso's view, or hold on, I gotta let my cat out. Um, Whether you want to go with Verso's view or you want to go with Mael's view. So
I
I
went
picked
Maya.
Verso.
I went
Right,
Maya.
right. But she's saying, well, we can still live a life together here. Like, we could still, you're my brother. We could still live here. I could get to spend the time that I didn't get to spend with you because you died. So
Right. But yeah, but also there's this, right? Okay, I get rid of my canvas. I go back to my disabled world, right? Where my mom is inevitably going to die anyway. My brother's dead. My sister's most likely going to end up dead. She's in war, and I got a emotionally bonded dad that doesn't even know what direction to go in. Where do I get my happiness? All I'm gonna do is just be a corpse living in all this. I can't talk. I can't make any decisions. I can't help.
that's interesting. That's your take. Interesting.
Okay, but I am in my Disney world, and you guys
No,
are
to
telling
see
me that it's not.
then I could see Den's point of view, because I sat. I know it seemed like the right thing to do, but I feel like
Right,
I'm
right. I get your
summarizing
point of
it
view.
to summarizing it. But like, when you play these characters, you do have attachments to the people that
Right.
you have been
I
playing with.
use her the
So
whole
it's
game, by the way.
when right, and I sat there, and I don't think I've ever done this. I sat there with that decision for maybe 10 minutes. I panicked. I was like, I can't Google it, because I don't.
No,
I did.
it
I
was.
did. Because I understood both points of view, but I was sitting here going, part of me, like Mael, wanted to hold on, and that's what I thought was so great about this game. Part of me, like Mael, wanted to keep this world alive because you
Right.
form these bond and you see the beauty in it, and you're like, why can't these people have a chance to live? They've already created, they've already lived these whole lives, and now we just have to end it because like they say so. So like it was,
Right.
and then
And
then you're
then you're
thinking
telling
of
me I can just make a new one. I'm just gonna make the same thing. I'm gonna make
right.
the same thing.
But it wouldn't really be then because remember when
So
they
it
were
wouldn't be the
saying how
same.
they
It
could
wouldn't
bring
be the
back
same thing, right? And
right,
nobody
right,
wants
because
to live with a memory that only they have to share. They ain't got it to share with nobody. So if she makes new people, meets new people, makes new people, they don't have the same. She has to make new memories. Like she doesn't
right,
want that. She liked the ones that she got right here.
right,
Why
right.
does it?
So it's
It's a game. It's a
even
game of selfishness. Being selfish. Everybody was being selfish in their choice. So for me, I used Maya the whole game. I was with her the whole game. I didn't even use Versa. So I bonded with her the whole game. So for me, I wanted to give her a happy ending.
right, right. So it's not an easy decision, even though
It
you're
wasn't an
you're
easy
sitting here
decision, but
going, yeah,
yeah,
this is. Like even though Trav, you're sitting here going like, well, obviously this is the right decision. It's the game unravels in a
you gotta
way that
play
it
it. You
makes a
gotta play
decision
with it,
hard.
right?
It
You gotta
does.
play with her. You gotta hear her talk, right? She's 16. She's 16.
Right,
Right. But now I'm here to tell you, as a person that made that choice, that he switches that up very quickly, very quickly,
he did. He did. Well,
very quickly.
I think he always had an ulterior motive.
Right,
I think, but
right.
I don't think he knew what he was going. I think he knew what he wanted to do, but I think part of him also wanted to live in a way, because he did get to meet his sister. He did get to realize like, oh wow, okay, this is like I could be here. I think that was a hard decision for him, but I think the
I think
breaking
he's the
point
type
was
of
when he
person.
saw. I don't know. Don't
Shy,
tell me because I didn't play
oh,
that.
okay. Okay, that's the
Sorry.
ultimate spoiler. That's
That
hidden
wasn't that
boss.
wasn't
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
It's,
hidden boss. It's not part of the main stuff. So
so
I'm sorry. I
so
got
so okay. So
I got
Trav,
the spoiler cast,
you
but
don't even want to know who he is. Like I can't tell you. You don't want to know his relation to the story, even a little one. No, I'm asking her before we go past it. A
I
little.
I saw some expedition journals with a couple of names, and I do want to save that because I plan to go back and play it again. I
To say,
didn't get to do
okay,
all
all
the
right,
game stuff, so I know it's a spoiler cast, but yeah, just
yeah,
just sticking
okay.
to the main
Yeah,
stuff. Let's just
just for that, very relevant to being the hidden boss. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. Very relevant to being the hidden boss.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah, very relevant.
So
Because
so
Rashi,
yeah,
now that you know his name and like what he looks like, if you went back into your expedition, which you
yeah, I
said you
didn't see
seen a
what he
video.
looked like.
Oh, you didn't see
I,
it
I
like
saw I
actual.
saw videos saying secret boss like Simon, but I didn't click any of it because I
Okay.
was like, oh, okay, I missed
If you
that.
went
Okay,
back
yes,
into your expedition log and like obviously I don't know all of them verbatim, but if you listen to some and he got bought up, you would be able to piece it very quickly because you know his name now and you know the story. Like
okay,
say you were still playing the game and you've seen the name, you wouldn't know. But now that you've beaten the game, and if you went back into those logs and you heard the name, you would understand, you would know exactly
I
who
think
he
there
is.
was like a log or two that might have mentioned.
Yeah.
I do plan to do a completionist run, so yeah, don't worry, I
Yeah.
do want to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Yeah, relevant.
I did play it
She
on. I
doesn't play
played it on
console.
PC. Yeah, I
You
really
know.
do. Well, this is the thing. If I do console if I can get a physical copy. Because
Mm,
I want to get the physical medium. The thing is though, like there's been issues where like the whole games haven't been on disc or the games come out
yeah.
buggy even on disc. So it's
Right.
yeah, so it's made me kind of like,
It's a
well, what am I
turn
going to
off.
do? But in this
Yeah.
case, they did put the full game on the disc, but I actually wasn't aware that they made a physical copy because usually with these smaller teams, they don't even put out a physical release. So by the time, right, by the time I got around to realizing they did, the game has been sold out. You actually cannot buy a physical copy at
Yeah, no,
retail.
it's up. This game is gonna go down as an instant classic.
Yeah, like
This
people are
game is gonna
selling the
go down as an instant
original.
classic. Yeah, it's
They
gonna go down as an
reissued
instant
the
classic.
collector's edition without the game, I think, for a little cheaper recently because it had some cool stuff in it. People wanted the art books and stuff, and I did order that. But like the original collector's editions are going for like almost over $1,000 to $2,000. Like the people have absolutely just bought this game up, and there have been people that have said they got it on Game Pass, and they went to go get the game.
Well, it's gonna see something. Now, I have two things I want to say. One thing I want to do is
Not
ask
actually.
you something, Rashi. Is
Yeah.
did you notice any of the like Easter egg stuff that they put in the game? Two of the ones that were brought to my attention were there were two weapons. Uh one was Mael's weapon, I think, and one was Gustav's weapon, and it was a representation of Ichigo's sword and Rukia's sword. And then also one of the battle themes or one of the like idol themes was like a remix version of like Route 21 or something like that from one of the Pokemon games.
Wait,
So
what?
did you out
No.
yeah, I
Crazy.
seen some
What?
videos. Yeah, I seen some TikToks that pointed out to me. It was crazy. That showed me some of those things. So I was wondering if
Yeah,
maybe you
these.
saw anything.
No, I'll be honest. Although, yeah, now that you mention it, I could see Gustav sort of mimicking that a bit. Yeah, the way it looked. But
Yeah,
like,
there
no,
was
I
one of them that
haven't.
looked like it.
I didn't. I didn't. I mean, the devs. What I think the devs have done successfully, as Den mentioned, is take parts of things that work from games that have been
Right,
traditionally very good, but still made it feel unique and fresh in their own. It doesn't feel like a copied
right.
game.
It
Um,
Right, you can't say
right.
it's like this because it took a piece of this, and this and combined it together. So you can't say, "Oh, it's just like it plays like this." That's why it's so unique. You can't compare it to something. Like,
No, we can.
and then the next thing I wanted to say was I got a little bit of a maybe I'll even say a little bit of a stretch conspiracy hot take. Could this game overall its story be a reflection of how these 30 people felt at their experience at Ubisoft as far as being a painter and deleting and firing people and hiring people and never being able to have a particular idea and always wanting to keep something but never change it, type of thing.
That's a good question. From the few interviews I've read, they said the game was more about whether or not art should be separated from the artist. But
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
feel like the game has way more layers to that. Not to say they're wrong, they created the game, but I think that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, the interesting thing about art is you can kind of take what you want from it. But I think this resonated with people in a lot of different ways. It was a story about grief, like how to handle it, escaping from life's problems, escaping through. I've seen so many really
The
good takes,
anime
and I
was
That's
it
think
sick,
was
that
bro.
dark.
I fixed it now.
It The anime was dark. Like it wasn't a happy anime. I mean, a happy game. Like
I,
you can't really say it had a happy ending. Like it was a dark game from the moment you started it.
right. So
So
the endings were both not happy. I actually, when I did the Verso ending, I actually thought I might have got the bad ending. So I like kind of panicked. So I did end up like reloading a save and then going the other route just out of curiosity. I wanted to
I
just
feel
do
you.
a
I
full
feel you.
playthrough and just do it, but like I was so
mm,
bothered by it. And so in the Verso
That's so
ending,
funny you said
again,
that,
if you
bro.
don't want to know endings right now, I'm about to say them. In the Verso ending, uh, Niall basically, or Alicia, does move on with her family. Everyone kind of gathers at Verso's real grave and they just kind of say their goodbyes. And then it fades out with kind of Alicia sitting there at Verso's grave. And then she sees all her squad mates that she remembers through the journey and it fades out. And that's the ending. It's playing really sad
See,
music.
Right. See,
Renoir and the
she gets this
Paintress
bullshit
are like
ending. Look.
holding each other, and the sister just kind of drops flowers, and everyone's
Look at that.
moving on. Like everyone's like, okay, we're grieving, but we there's hope. We can move on. But it
No,
doesn't
there's hope.
feel
My,
good.
my face is burnt and I can't talk, but there's hope.
Right. And it's just like you still see her viscerally like she's disfigured. And so I
Yeah,
felt bad.
like
I was like,
it's
maybe I did
nasty.
make the wrong choice. The
Uh,
second ending is a horror story. It is absolutely just like terrifying in a way. I was
Yeah.
like, I am so glad I did not pick this ending. So I'm sorry, Daddy. But it was even more depressing.
I mean, it was, but
So
I
in
just
Mael's ending, you oh go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, for me, it was just my final decision came based off of that. I had this whole journey with Mael. So regardless, my final choice came not to what I felt was right or wrong, but what character that I resonated with. And I didn't play Verso the whole game unless I had to. So
Right.
was
Yeah, no yeah.
so the choice of right or wrong was the second to last thing that I came to my mind, and the last what it came down to was how I felt about both these characters. I didn't like Verso that I'm not big on. If you have information, you share it. That's it.
Right.
Get it.
Right.
You get it out there. That way, it doesn't come out at a crucial time. What if they would have found out that you were lying in all this mid battle? You know what I'm saying? Mid
Right.
attack. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, where it could have fucked everything up. You come out, you tell the truth, and you figure it out right then and there because it could be a
That's what
crucial
Loon was
thing.
saying, right? Loon was telling Verso that she's
Right,
like, you're holding back information. Like
right,
we have a fighting chance if you're just honest. And I
right.
think
And
that's
we're
why
not
she did what
immortal,
she
by the way. We're not immortal, by the
right,
way.
right.
So
No,
that's
I
kind of what it came
neither
down to me. And then I got bullshitted because, like Rashi's saying, like it was like I was like, damn. My heart was in the right
yeah.
place, but this is awful. This is-
Yeah, neither ending felt good, but I will say
yeah,
one
yeah,
felt a
no,
little bit worse than the other. I
yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
somebody wasn't happy, so you're
Yeah,
making
for sure.
somebody unhappy, no matter what.
Exactly.
You're
So
either
you pick the
making
character that you want to be happy, and as I just said,
right, right. So my
come on,
else
man, she hit
ending,
somebody for 500K. I had to, like, I had to. He
hey,
did
maybe y'all
500K.
don't know, but
the
maybe
damage is crazy.
maybe there's an
Yes.
extra ending that nobody even knows about yet.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, if you beat Simon,
Um,
maybe you get
Maybe
something.
because
If you kill Simon, maybe.
I mean, there's still games
maybe.
out there that I keep seeing that saying, "Oh, people didn't even know these secret things was in it." You never know. This game sounds like it's, especially when you're an indie dev, you probably put some in there like, "Hey, man, we gonna put this third decision in there," but you gotta
Somebody
do
we're gonna put
certain
this third
things.
decision in.
Certain things have to happen for you to even have that access to it. Like certain people gotta die, certain people gotta live, certain people, certain things gotta
I see what
happen
you're-
in a
Oh
order.
well, there
To,
is that something like that, Rashi.
right,
The gestrels, the white ones. If you
Yeah,
there's five of them. If you go through the game without killing them, something happens. But I'm sure it's not detrimental to the story. But
right,
something is supposed to happen if you don't fight them. Which, funny enough, like you're saying, Trav, when
yeah,
you see these five beings, they're very pushy for you to fight them.
right.
But if you
oh
choose not
crap.
to
I
fight them,
fought one. I
yeah, yeah,
think I
yeah.
fought
No, so did I.
one.
So did
And I
I,
was
Rashi.
like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
So I
no,
was
I
like,
fought a few
oh
of them.
man.
I might have killed
Yeah,
all five of
like
them. I'm
one or
not gonna lie to
two.
you. So I
Okay.
might have killed
Well,
all five of them.
I don't think there's anything that would change the final endings, but there might be
Yeah.
alternate
No,
like
there's,
routes.
I mean, but there's stuff like what you're saying, Trav, in the
Yeah.
game, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's detrimental to the story.
Got you. All right, bet.
I
Uh,
just yeah. So I don't know. My else ending was a little sad because she basically tells Verso, "Hey, I'll repaint you, and then you can just age this time rather than living immortally." And
Right.
then the game cuts out with basically her painting everybody black. The whole scene's in black and white, by the way, so
right.
the
Yeah.
vibes are off right away.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
And
way,
they're
Trav, whoever
all
you pick, you fight the opposite person. So
right,
if you pick Morel, you fight Verso, and vice versa. So
Mm.
there's that
right,
sad shit too.
right. So yeah, and they're saying things to each other, pleading with the other
Yeah,
as you're like fighting
yeah.
them. It's
They're
terrible.
like talking while they're fighting and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
It
that
does
was
not feel good.
yeah. Yeah, nah, it's none of it is. It's not all him though.
So so
It's
yeah,
fucked
you
up.
Mael's ending ends with everybody coming into an opera house and they're all congregated waiting for Verso to perform, and Verso comes out to play piano, and he's an old man now, and
Yeah,
he's sitting there for a long time looking at the piano because he knows something's not right,
Yeah.
and he looks over at Mael and you can see she has the drippy paint face like her parents did when they were immersed and trapped in the world,
Yeah.
yeah,
and it just ends right there. Like she
yeah.
basically just has him playing at an opera house in Lumiere, pretending nothing's wrong,
Right.
and he's just basically like another puppet. He's just sitting there playing the piano,
But
performing
but
for
also
however
That
Trav.
is
long.
morbid. That is
But
very.
also, but
It
also,
is.
Trav,
That is Tales
she's
from the Crypt.
she's giving him his piece. She's also giving him his piece essentially because Verso never wanted to be a painter. He wanted to
Ah.
be a musician.
But it's not his piece. He wanted to
I
rest.
mean, I'm saying she gave him some. She gave him something. I'm trying to be optimistic and honest. So essentially, Marielle might have felt like she was saving him in a sense of like he saved her and gave her a life, and now she's taking that life and trying to give him a little of something. Obviously, he said that he was tired and stuff like that, and she was being selfish in her own right, but she tried to at least give him something that he could that was him because he never got to enjoy being the musician. So she tried to give
Yeah,
him
that's
some.
true. I guess she tried in her own way,
She
but
tried,
it was
yeah,
definitely not what he
it
wanted
was
in the
still
end.
fucked up, but she tried to, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They tried to, you
Right.
know what
She
I'm
was
saying?
like, well,
But
let me give you at least a little,
yeah,
like, make you a
this
little
little
happier while
song,
you're trapped
he just
here, I
like,
guess.
man, he just sitting there playing the piano, like, yeah, I guess, man. You know,
Neither ending
yeah, it was
felt right.
like,
And I
yeah.
feel like that is the first game I feel like it messed me up, actually. I
But
couldn't play
I think we
anything
needed
for a
this.
couple days.
I think we needed
Like,
this. I think that we needed a game where there was no happy ending. Because
yeah.
I always say this even among my personal friends is every time you play a game, you're usually the hero. You're usually doing a good act or whatever. So like when I played Assassin's Creed, I kind of deferred from being like this good person. I wasn't bad,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like stern. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And then as you know, Trav, I because I like to have fun in the game itself, I created an alter ego for the character and she killed people.
For fun.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't for fun. It
Right.
was just like when I was, you know, Rashi, when you would do the castles and stuff like that, I
Mm-hmm.
put the mask on, and anybody inside the castle walls, when she put the mask on, would get killed. I was killing everybody.
Oh
Anybody.
yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the servants and everything. But when she took the mask off, she wasn't that person. So I like, you know what I'm saying, where the game allowed you to create it. So I like that it gave us a game that didn't have a happy ending, and I think the other type of game that we're missing is a game that your path is altered when you don't win, or your path is altered when you do win, and the choice is do I win or do I lose? You know what I'm saying? Or if I lose, I got to do something completely different. They need a game. They need to make a game like that. If
I
they
mean, in
make
this
that,
one, in winning whatever team you pick, you lose something.
yeah.
Right.
And
So,
that's
but it's
what
like
that
this
was
is
what
like
was so compelling about this.
Play GTA 4, dude.
right. But I'm saying like in the game's nature, I'm saying like remember even got to go as far back as Trav, you'll know this. No Mercy. When you did the story mode in No Mercy and you lost a match, it would branch off to a different scenario.
Yes, sir.
And it was the 64 days, so you couldn't just quit the match and start over. It was locking you in, so you had to go with that path. So I'm saying they should make a game where it's more like that. Once you lose, now your path is altered, or what's going to happen in the game is altered. Obviously, not where there's 50,000 different endings, but like it gives you a few different options where if you win or you
I mean, they
lose,
have
that
that
it'll
already. I mean,
always go a little bit.
Fallout has that
Well,
continuous
okay,
path. Like you make certain decisions,
so
you align yourself with certain people, certain things
right, but
That's
happen.
true.
it's
Yeah.
right, and those are built into side quests.
Yeah,
You could play Fallout and just do the main story and not really do that.
it's kind of
So
weird.
it's like it's
I
just
don't
a
even think that's even possible because that game is so.
You,
I don't know.
yeah, you kind of gotta
You
do
can you
but
can
no,
something.
you can go from A to B, but there's so much things in between A and B that you're like, yeah, you
yeah,
can't just.
I'm saying But I'm saying like Fallout 3, for example, like I didn't do the Megaton and the 10 penny tower thing. I beat the whole game without even doing that part.
Okay.
I didn't mess with it at all. So I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's an option more than it's like a part of the game's nature. Like you'll do it just naturally.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? But
on
it's
the flip
not
side,
built
Rocky,
into the
how did you enjoy Indiana Jones? That was A to B. You know, I mean, they did have side stuff, but
What do you mean? Like how do I like the game overall?
yeah, overall, yeah. While I got you here,
I haven't finished it.
you
That's
haven't
actually
finished it yet?
probably the next.
Okay,
No, I haven't. I've been chipping off and on away at Horizon, so I've been trying to finish that. I'm trying to get to my
Are you
backlog,
playing
but
that on
that is
PS4 or you
next.
playing that on PlayStation?
Well, that one. So this is interesting. I wasn't sure how it was going to be because, like, initially the trailer didn't 100% sell me. So I was actually one of the people that like subscribed to Game Pass, played it a bit, and was like, you know what, I like it, so I bought it on Steam.
Got
And
you.
then it was actually interesting because I think this was one of the only games that I know of. I don't know if Game Pass normally does this, but I haven't seen it in the past when I've had it. But it let me sync my save from Game Pass to my Steam account,
Oh,
so I was able to continue playing from where I left off.
okay, cool.
Um,
Oh,
but I
okay.
mean, I
That's dope.
really, I really like that game. So once I finish, I'm trying to finish some of the older stuff I've had
Yeah,
sitting around.
yeah.
Once I finish Horizon, that'll probably be the next game I play until Death Stranding 2 drops in. But I mean, that's a great game. It feels like you're playing an Indiana
What
Jones
like a
movie.
few weeks? Isn't that like a few weeks from now? Death Stranding?
No, and the
Or is
June,
that
yeah.
Death
But I
Stranding
think I
next
can
month?
get it done.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well, I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
here.
Indiana Jones
I
is
want to
dope.
ask y'all a question since I actually am having a little bit of a gaming dilemma anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not so much in the sunken place because I have stuff to play. The rematch beta came out and stuff, and I've been back in Tekken or whatever. Now, however, there's a game coming out. It's called Shinobi Revenger. It comes out I think in August. It's a platformer, side scroller platformer, right? I have never played a side scroller platformer. I'm currently sitting here looking at the main menu of Prince of Persia. Before I decide to start playing this, is there another one that you guys would recommend before I play this one, or should I just play this?
The Prince of Persia side scroller.
Yeah,
You will
like games like
absolutely no, you will absolutely enjoy that.
so
That
play
is a
that
fantastic game.
that
that's
should
on
be
my
my
backlog.
entry to this.
Yeah,
'Cause I
I
haven't
would.
played one before. I haven't played Hollow Knight, Castlevania, I've no, even Metroid on the Switch. I didn't play.
Wow, you
So
didn't play Metroid on Switch.
no,
Metroid's so
just
good.
because I'm more of I'm more Prime. I'm very super excited for Prime 4.
No,
So
I hear you. I hear you. Side scrollers is kind of a throwback style.
okay,
I
let me
don't
ask
play a
you
lot
then,
of them, but
Persia
they
or
do tend to
Metroid?
be good. Yeah. No, the
Persia or
Metroid Dread
Metroid,
was
Rocky?
fantastic.
But I'm saying
Huh?
if I was gonna say which one would you recommend? Like if I was saying which one should I play first? Like we just met and I
Oh,
asked you, hey, should I play Prince of Persia or should I play Metroid? Like I'm just getting into
I
gaming, but I want to play one of these two.
I think you would enjoy Prince of Persia
I
more.
was gonna say
More
Prince of
Prince of
Persia.
Persia? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not
Well
even
then
that it's
then
newer, but like I just think generally, I think
it's more
the
it got air combat.
right the art.
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay. You know what I'm
I
saying.
think you'd enjoy the. No, I think you'd enjoy the combat better, the story better. I think you'd enjoy that
Okay.
one a
All
little
right.
bit
So I'm
more.
just gonna play this then.
And then they
I'm gonna
Yeah,
play this.
Metroid's a bit of a
just give
slow burn.
and I just wanted to verify, and I did just verify they do have a demo for it. So if you
No,
Oh yeah.
it's included in what's the name now? It's in
it's in the catalog.
premium. It's in the premium, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Then yeah, definitely play it.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance was initially going to be the first side scroller game that I played, platformer, but it doesn't come out until the 29th. But I just seen the trailer a couple of days ago, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go play this right now. But it doesn't come out till August 26th.
Have you been playing the
So
rematch, the beta rematch?
I played it all. I played it all weekend. I
How
got
you?
plenty of clips. I'm gonna condense it down into a small video and post
Okay,
it.
okay. Ooh.
And
Make
then
sure you give me the feedback then.
they still have the like the beta's open, but you
Yeah.
can't play online, but they still let you go into the practice mode. So I still very much go in
They
there.
they announced last night or this morning that because I guess some soccer team won, they're letting the beta rock for one more day. So if you go back
Uh,
right now, it might be up and running.
well, I'm gonna check right now. I've been sitting here staring at the screen.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just
But
messing with
yeah,
you.
it's just one of those things where it's like This is very much Trav. You'll remember this because you were playing with me around that time. You remember how cracked out I was. This is very much the Knockout City effect,
Ooh,
where it's just I knew that before the game came out, I was just gonna have a knack
locked
for it.
in. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna. And it's just one of those things.
Hey,
So like,
if you boot up right now, man, let me run one with you, man.
yeah, we can play after we get out of here.
All right. Anything else for y'all?
No,
Y'all
No,
got
I
no.
just
I,
want to
I mean,
say if you have not played
yeah.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33,
yeah, play
please go
Expedition
do it.
33. Seriously,
It is
like
probably,
seriously.
honestly, at this point, one of the top three games. My top
Yeah,
three,
I
like
mean,
easy,
it's definitely
easy.
one of the better games. I will give it is definitely. I'll stick to the tier with saying this. It's definitely Final Fantasy tier for
What
me.
is it? Oh,
Like,
okay. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's no,
That is
no,
a
it is.
huge
No, no,
compliment
no,
for
no. Yeah,
you.
for sure. It's for
First
sure,
compliment,
for
really
sure,
just
for sure.
knock it out the park for their
And
first
I
game.
would never, and I don't recommend games. I really don't. And I wouldn't recommend Final Fantasy to people just because I just feel like a lot of people that haven't gamed before wouldn't get it. So,
Mm.
and I'm not and I just like I try not to be biased about it, but sometimes the things that people say, Avengers, it just sound crazy.
Wait, what?
So I just, you know,
Hey, Avengers was supposed to be something. Avengers
Ross,
was supposed to.
It,
So
it,
I'm
it, it
just,
was something. It
oh,
was
it was definitely, it
flop.
just wasn't what you was talking about, but it was something. But no, it play this game. Like if you play this game, it's a good
This
game.
game,
Like
this
it's
game
just,
actually, like after I beat it, it ruined other games for me. I actually had a
yeah,
hard time getting into
right.
games for a few days.
Oh
Like
I
I had
wow.
didn't
to
play
sit with it.
anything
I had
else
to
while
really
I was
sit with
playing.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
Every
same.
night I played it, I beat it straight through. And think about it, y'all. Anybody that watches this podcast or watch on social media or anything, I put 120 hours into Assassin's Creed. I was playing, I was still playing Expedition 33 and playing Assassin's Creed at the same time. I finished up Assassin's Creed because Trav, you know that I was going essentially 100% it.
Yeah.
I would still be playing Assassin's Creed had Expedition 33 not came out.
Facts.
So it stopped me from playing. It made me wrap up Assassin's Creed and only focus on that. So that let that say, that should
If
speak
y'all don't
for
know, then that's a huge compliment.
like I'm here to tell you, like I'm not stopping. I'm not like ninjas and samurai. I just told y'all that I created an alter ego for a character. I didn't have to do that. That's some nerd shit. That's some weeb shit that I'm doing in the game. I stopped doing that so I can play this game that I never heard of for $50. Go play the
Yeah,
game. It's worth it.
Game of
It's
the year is
it's a
gonna be tough.
$70 game. Oh, it has a
It's gonna be tough.
very solid statement for us for being game of the year. The only and Trav, I said this on the podcast and I'll say it here again. The I'm I went with Ghost into this because this game didn't exist when I said it. So therefore, that's the only reason why I'm gonna stick to my guns about Ghost be getting game of the year because that's where my confidence is with the game. That's the impression that they left on me with their first game. However, this game could most definitely walk away with it, and I will not be. I wouldn't. It will win every other category, if not game of the year. It's
Okay.
going to win every other
Soundtrack hands
category.
All
down.
right. All right.
Soundtrack for sure.
I was gonna say, Dan. I'm not. I don't want to open up a can of worms or anything. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about this until the next time we talk. But when
Okay.
it comes to Ghost, right? In my
Yeah.
mind, for some odd reason, I feel like what Ghost of Yote is gonna be is just like what Spider-Man 2 is to Spider-Man 1. Like Spider-Man 1 was good, and Spider-Man 2 was
Yeah.
good as well, but it didn't like
Yeah.
push the bar anywhere crazy. Like graphically, it raised the bar, but
But
like
but let
storytelling
me
and
ask you
world,
this:
it was
Did
pretty much the
Spider-Man One
same.
set the bar?
Yeah, it set the bar and it was fine. And Spider-Man 2 didn't need to like reinvent the wheel or anything. It just
But
needed
I
to
don't.
do
But did
stuff.
Spider-Man One do what Ghost of Tsushima did?
No, I'm not trying to compare Spider-Man to Ghost. What I'm
No, I'm
saying,
not comparing the game. I'm
I'm
talking about
saying
the
that from
impact.
what Ghost is like right now, if you had to put Ghost to Tsushima, not Ghost to Yote, Ghost to Tsushima versus 33, what would you say is the better story,
I would.
or would it be Ghost?
Look, no, hold on. Look, I am obviously a huge Ghost fan. I have the collector's edition. I have a custom-made lightsaber based off of the
Here we
sword
go.
of Jin Sakai.
Stand
I
on
am a
I know exactly what
huge
you're about to
Ghost
say.
fan.
I
Okay?
understand.
No,
it.
I am a huge Ghost fan. I cried when I saw the Ghost of Yotai trailer. Like I am excited for this game, okay?
Okay.
But this game,
Mm.
this game has emotionally stuck with me in a game I have not experienced in a very long time.
Right.
And I do not think I love samurai stories, so I can already see where Ghost of Yotai is going, and I love playing that. And that's not to take away from what it is. I will still very much enjoy that game. But if we're
Yeah.
talking about raising the bar, and we're talking about crazy storytelling that hasn't been done before, and in a way that has actually like resonated with so many people that they didn't
Yeah.
even expect it, that the devs are caught off guard
Yeah.
by their own success,
Yeah.
that tells me that this thing is something really special.
Something
There are
very
people who
Yeah.
have been long-term Final Fantasy fans who have now put this, like then just did, that have put this in the same bracket, and that is
Right.
not an easy feat.
right.
I
It's
don't
not.
think Ghost of Yotai can clear that,
Right.
even
No.
though it will be a good game.
Right. And just
No.
sitting
No.
here
No.
for the hour that we sat here, and you guys breaking down the story, you and Arashi breaking down the story from the beginning to the end, and the decision making that has to happen, and the moral compass that has to happen there. I don't feel like I had that. Like just hearing y'all say it, like it feels like it was the storytelling was just a little bit much deeper. That's all I'm just
It
saying.
was an experience. It was such an
Oh no.
experience,
Oh,
and I can't say that about a
Rashi
lot
gave
of
you the
games.
short version.
right.
Yeah,
We gave you
yeah.
the short version.
Because
For
when
big
when
time.
Thursday happened, and Dennis like, I can't really explain this the way where
Right.
like I
Yeah.
can't say this
I
person
can't.
does it.
You can't
Like
do it alone.
there's so much nuance and so much in
Yeah. Yeah.
between
Yeah.
that I had to cut out to give you like the general gist of it. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah. She gave
everything's
you the
unraveling,
short.
you're like, what the heck? Oh my God. Like, and there's so much other stuff you discover in between there, like
Right.
with the characters. And so that's why that decision at the end is hard. And I understand why Ben
Exactly.
made it because I
In fact,
struggled with
think
it
about it.
too.
Mm.
Everything that Rashi told you about the game, right? Everything, think about this. Everything that she told you about the game had nothing to do with why I made the choice that I made at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know
The
what I'm
way you
saying? Like
connect with the world
the way you
and
play,
the
exactly.
people, it's insane.
Right.
It's
And that's
insane.
what
I've
ties into the ghost thing for me. I don't think that that ghost is a better game than this. What happens is we talking about me. You know what I'm saying?
The personal.
Me
Personal.
personally.
Okay. Okay.
The samurai and
So you don't
that's
be
my
upset if
like
33
yeah
beats out
oh no no no
Ghost.
no 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 and no absolutely not. I don't expect it to.
Mm.
But
yeah.
game of the year is what I think, what I'm gonna like. It's not. I'm not going for the people. If you want to tell me what you think, I'm gonna tell you what I think. What I liked.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that Expedition has set a bar extremely high. The only thing that
Yeah.
I'm banking on with Ghost of Yotai
Yeah.
is that it's in the realm that I love. So if it can do something, because even on a lesser scale,
It'll deliver on that 100.
right.
100.
But it has to really deliver because of what you're saying, what you explained that Expedition did, and the level that I put it on. For me, Ghost 33 and Final Fantasy are all swimming in the same pool. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's for
It's
me
gonna be heavy.
personally,
It's gonna be heavy.
right?
It's gonna have some heavy hitters.
Ghost
We haven't even the
has
training hasn't even dropped yet, and I'm very
it
I'm
has a lot
afraid
of
of it.
potential for me because of the things I like. Think about it, and Rosh, you already know female protagonist. That's already pushing, you know what I'm saying? That's already going to defer me
I
towards that just off of that because we're
just to
talking about what
pivot.
I like.
I'm just gonna pivot. I'm kind of glad GTA 6 got delayed because I think these devs deserve it. I'm sorry. I'm hyped for the game and I'm excited, but I'm kind of happy because I
Yeah.
think that this will be a statement to the industry
Yeah.
No,
in terms of just
this
like the
game
lack of
is an
creativity
instant classic.
happening.
Expedition 33 is an instant classic.
Yeah.
Instant.
Yeah.
And
It's an instant classic.
just like I was gonna say before, like Death Stranding, I never played the first one because like I played like a little bit of the first one, kind of seemed like a walking simulator to me or whatever. But this second one, I don't know if it's the marketing or whatever, but the previews I've seen, the way I guess the way that they're marketing this game, it seems like it might be more than just a walking simulator or whatever. And I'm interested
Well, the gameplay loop is going to be very similar to the first one. I finished Death Stranding the first one a couple weeks ago, and I will say that it is a very slow burn, but
Yeah.
The story is insanely. I mean, it's Kojima, but
Right.
like when by the ending, I like my husband's been watching me play. It's not his thing. He's tried to get into it like you, like Walking Simulator. He couldn't get to the gameplay aspect, but the story was really good. So he was watching the cutscenes with me, and like by the end of it, like we like I've stayed up late playing it, but like I had to cut it off. So like I replayed the ending, and it was like 3 hours long. It was just like a movie in and of itself. But like the way the story parts tied together and all the stuff you were doing, it made sense, and it was like the twists in that were so good. So the story in that was amazing. And I will say that maybe Death Stranding might be maybe the only contender, depending on where it goes, that might give Expedition 33 a little bit of a run. I still think Expedition's ahead, but I don't know. I haven't played. I do know DS1 was very strong. So
Yeah.
we'll see what 2 continues. I mean, they got some heavy hitting actors in there too, so we'll see. But um, yeah,
No,
speaking of the
it's
cast in
exciting.
this
It's
game was
exciting
crazy
what's
because
going
it was
on.
a lot of Baldur's Gate voice actors, and then they had Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, playing Gustav, who's the main character, and then they had the Ben Starr of Final Fantasy 16 fame also in there. So like, I mean, it had really incredible voice acting in it too.
I'm
It was
not
gonna
gonna
be a
lie.
tough game to
I
beat.
think these 30 devs. I think they went for broke, man. I think
Yeah,
they put everything they had into this and they went for it. I really think that's what they did, and it paid off. I think that they might be the definition of going for it. They quit
yeah,
a well known industry of gaming, and I'm sure they didn't take it all for granted. They took what they knew, and they got together and they made a masterpiece. And they
yeah,
should definitely they should be very proud of that.
Right. I mean,
So
yeah,
shout out to them for sure.
right.
Because in a time where it's hard to drop a game, it's hard. It's
yeah.
hard. There's no
I mean,
there
we've
has
seen a
been
lot of
no
failures.
negative there has been no negativity. I seen one video of somebody trying to say something, and every comment was like literally shut the fuck up. He was complaining about the parry system. And everybody literally was like literally you're the only person saying this.
Right.
So
And yeah, even for me, as somebody who's not like a parry like expert, I was willing to go through it
yes, because
and
it
learn it
allowed you to
because
it made the
the
game like yeah, you didn't have to get hit. It was there.
right
It was there.
they do it in a way that you can work it. It doesn't feel
Right.
impossible,
And you can't just sit
and
there and
it's
just get
it's a well
hit.
done
It's not
system.
gonna you have to use it because it was one of those games where it was like I wasn't I wasn't I can't say that I wasn't overpowered from like a health standpoint. I was overpowered because I was dishing out a lot of damage. But I was
Damage,
still
yeah,
dying 2, 3 hits if I wasn't parrying. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You could
Like
easily
depending on
miss
how
a
you build
parry or
your
two, and
character. Oh
you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wiped. Yeah,
Exactly. So it was my character was my team was very based off of like instead the game didn't essentially just didn't get a turn before it was their turn they were already dead. So
Right.
that's where my overpoweredness came from. But when I was fighting a boss, oh, that's when I was getting humbled. But anything that wasn't a boss or actually stronger than me, oh, was getting dealt with. It wasn't even getting a chance to go.
Right. Right. Right.
yeah.
So, but if
I
you
mean,
don't
we've
do it
talked
that
about it
way,
so long, and Trav trying to end the thing, and we still talking about
sorry, Trav.
Man, that's what I'm telling you. It has to
Right,
be
go play
done,
it,
man.
man.
it.
Go play it.
That's what.
Telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they sound like I said.
But now that I see that
I
this
want to see it
rematch is
happen. I
back
don't know for
open, yeah,
real.
let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah.
I'm back
Let's
on
do it.
rematch. Yeah, I'm ready to get out of here. Rashi, I appreciate you pulling up, mom.
Okay.
It
No
was it
problem.
was a lovely talk.
Sorry,
You helped
Trav.
me out.
Trav trying to wrap it up. Then he
I
cut
wish you
me
was with us
off.
on Thursday because I was fucking up. I'm like, I don't even know how to explain this shit without somebody. This shit was crazy. I need help.
Well,
No,
man.
No,
it's
I
cool. I
appreciate you pulling
understand.
up. Man,
No, no
so yeah,
problem.
this was dope. I guess Thursday we'll talk about Summer Game Fest. We didn't even get to that. We got caught up. We should have known
Oh,
better.
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Rashi, we should have known better. It was never gonna
Summer
happen.
Game Fest gonna be more skins and DLC, man. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
fuck
we're
with
not
that.
getting anything.
No,
We're getting
I joke with
Fortnite
it.
season
Yeah,
$27.
Jeff said he got the most partners for this one, and I'm like, man, I hope this not ad
And
fest. Like,
Jeff
I'm
always
sorry,
got
hoping.
something. He always got all he ever got is some new shoes on. He always talking about he got something.
No, it's
All
like
right, y'all.
sponsorship for it, but
y'all.
all right.
We'll catch y'all next week.
Hey, it's been the boys, man.
Thank you.
We out of here.
And Rashi. Yeah.